Hello, my name is Bussy David, and this is Life Stories with Bussy. Compliments of the season. I hope you're having fun. You know, it's that time of the year where we all have fun. You know, we let our guards down, and everybody is just happy and excited and all that. I have a party after now, so I'm getting ready, but I needed to do this before I go. You know, so I have a story today, and the lady wants to remain anonymous, and she said that she stole from her late husband and she doesn't feel at ease. She stole from her late husband and she doesn't feel at ease. So she goes, I was Pasho's sixth wife, or should I say concubine, if you want to put it clearly. I didn't set out to be that. Marrying the man the age of my grandfather wasn't the plan. Pasho Kubi, who we popularly referred to as Pasho, was my father's employer. My father was his driver for many years, even before I was born. My mother left my father when I was about 2 years old. I have different versions of what happened between the both of them. My father later married another woman who raised me and had 3 boys for him. This woman died when I was 12. My father took ill when I was 16, and Pasho Kubi was of immense help, but we lost my father. Before my father died, he would tell me to go to Pasho's house to help him out. Pasho lived alone with his steward then. He had no wife with him. I heard from the grapevine that he built different houses for all of his wives because he preferred to stay alone. The old man used to make passes at me. He would tell me he would take care of me if I decide to be his wife. He even promised he would send me to school, and I reported him to my father. My father said, wasn't it better to be his wife and be comfortable and even help secure a future for my brothers? I remember him saying, you want to begin to struggle again. I have struggled all my life. Have I achieved anything? Pasho builds house for all his wives and spends money on them. Which small boy can do that for you? You better receive sense and take care of your future. When my father died and there was no help, I had to succumb to Pasho Kubi's entreaties. So he started paying for my brother's school fees. When I asked him about my own education as I wanted to go to school, he said that would not be immediately. He said when I have my children, I could go because he didn't want those small chewing gum boys to take me away from him. Shortly after I married Pasho Kubi, my mother came back into my life. She claimed that my father sent her away and told her not to make any attempts to see me. She said she tried to see me so many times, but my father blocked all the avenues possible. I remember vaguely that there was a time that some women came to our compound and my father had a shouting match with them. I didn't really understand what was happening, but I guess it was my mother then. My mother and I started getting to know each other. She had since gotten married to another man and she had other children. She wasn't exactly pleased that I ended up with Pasho, but I remember her saying, I will be free soon. When I asked her what she meant, she said, at that time, when I'm free, I will know. She would call me every day to know how I was doing. She met my children, but she refused to meet Pasho. It wasn't all bad living with Pasho. I treated him so well, tended to every need. I was like his caregiver with extra benefits. His eldest child and first grandchild were older than me. He was 75 when we started living together, and I was 18 going 19. I always knelt down to greet his children. He had about 12 of them, apart from the 2 boys I had for him. His wives and children didn't really bother about me because they all figured I was a small fry. When he was turning 80, they didn't even ask for my opinion for anything. They decided everything and I went with the flow. I overheard his eldest daughter making fun of me and my children, but I didn't respond to her. At a point, some of his elder wives said they couldn't wear same ashwebi with me. One of them said they should buy me the fabric the grandchildren were wearing. Another one responded that there was no need for that I was a glorified caregiver and maid to their father. I decided to wear something else. I got my mother to help me buy something very nice. I explained to her what was happening. Then my mother said, That's a foretaste of things that would happen after Pasho's death. She asked if I thought about what would happen to me and the boys. Truth is, I'd never given it a deep thought until that time. After the 80th birthday, I kept asking Pasho about his plan to send me to school. I also wanted to know if I would get a house like the other wives. One day, I didn't know when I blurted out that I hope I won't be left to suffer after his demise. He shouted me down saying I wanted to kill him. He said I should be careful or he would send me out into the cold. I didn't say anything again. I just made sure I saved the little money I got as upkeep from him. One night, he drove himself home and I berated him for driving. His doctors had told him never to do that, but Pasho was a very stubborn old man. He called me to help him bring some big bags out of the car. I told him he should have gotten one of the drivers to drive him and help him with the bags. He said it was a lot of money and didn't want his drivers to know. I asked what he was doing with such money and where he got it from. He said his bankers brought the money to his office and that he would take it to a political meeting the next day. I knew he was supporting his godson as the gubernatorial candidate for his state. It wasn't a strange thing to bring money, but he had never brought this much. I helped him to carry the money in and serve his food. One of the things the man knew I would not do was to steal his money. He had tested me with money all around the house before, and every time I returned his money to him. I had overheard him telling someone before that it's one of the good qualities I have that he didn't find in his other wives. I didn't sleep in his room that night. I just woke up to take one of my boys to the toilet when I heard a very noisy thump. I quickly rushed towards his room and found him on the floor, face down. I quickly called his doctors, but because I had seen my father and stepmother die, I knew he was gone. The doctors came and confirmed my worst fear. In my confusion, my mother was the first person I called. She said I shouldn't call anyone yet and that she would see me early in the morning. My mother was at my house as early as 5 a.m. She asked that did I know where his safe was, his accessories and stuff. I said I didn't know anything about safe. She was looking through different things in his wardrobe when she stumbled on the bags of money that I had brought in earlier. She asked me about the money. I told her. She said I have to carry the money. I was confused. Carry the money where? It didn't belong to me. I was still there struggling with what to do when my mother carried the money and told me she was doing it for me. By 7 a.m., some of his wives and children had shown up. Some saying I killed a man that I lived with for 5 years, who was 80 years old. Some of them ran straight to his room looking for what I didn't know. The doctor did the autopsy and confirmed that he died of cardiac arrest, complicated by his age. Of course, plenty drama played up during the days leading to his funeral and actual events. I was shocked when the will was read. He only made provisions for my children. There was this trust fund that was set up for them to send them to school. He told them to give me 500,000 to start school, and he said he prays I find a good husband. Every other thing was to be shared with his children, even the house where I stayed. I was told I had to leave the house by the new owners. He gave me 1 month to pack my things. When I told my mother, she said she already knew that would happen, but that I was free to live my life now. I could start my life with the 20 million naira in the bag. We had counted the money. My problem is I don't feel I have the right to the money. It's stolen money and I can't imagine stealing from a dead man. My mother thinks I'm being stupid. What do you think I should do? 20 million naira this Christmas? That's going to be nice. So, but really, sincerely, who owns this money? Who really owns this money? If you look at it, if I want to be empathetic because I'm a woman, so women supporting women, I will say, babes, take the money. You are the owner. Baba has died. Can the dead man have money? That the money was not covered under the will, Abi. I'll say take the money. Oh. If I want to look at it from the legal angle, I don't know what my learned colleagues will think. I'm a lawyer, by the way. Yeah, I'm a lawyer. So I don't know what my learned colleague will think. My learned colleague, what do you think? Who do you think owns this money? Morality wise, this is stealing, right? Because the money does not belong to her. But does the money belong to her? Who really owns this money? Who is the owner of this money? Who do you really think owns this money? Because if we take a look at it, he was going to give this money towards his godson's campaign, and the man is dead now. But guess what? She has children now. The money would also belong to the children. Or what do you think? No, what do you think? Who owns this money? Who do you really think owns this money? Let's read in the comment section and let us dissect and talk about who really owns this money. Who owns this 20 million naira? But man, 20 million naira this Christmas, we do a lot of things. So. Don't forget to enjoy yourself and all that. Do have a lovely Christmas. Bye. Before you leave, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thank you.